Good morning, everyone. My name is MightyStream. I'm happy to be here with you today with the H.O.O.D Recovery Services, Hope Offered on Demand. You can reach me at recoveryofhope21@gmail.com. I'm excited to be with you today. I want to go into the Just for Today for March 17th. I had so many things going this morning that I almost left the house without taking care of doing the Just for Today with you. I'm looking forward to the topic. I've had some exposure to the topic already. This morning at 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I was chairing a meeting on the International NA marathon meeting for NA on that platform on Zoom. And I had the opportunity to choose the Just for the Day for a topic. A lot of my friends are there from London, from the UK, right? And it was just really a beautiful morning listening to the various shares. So let me read it to you. March 17th, true courage. Those who make it through these times show a courage not their own. Basic text, page 86. Before coming to NA, many of us thought we were brave simply because we had never experienced fear. We had drugged all our feelings, fear among them, until we had convinced ourselves that we were tough, courageous people who wouldn't crack under any circumstances. But finding our courage in drugs has nothing to do with the way we live our lives today. Clean and in recovery, we are bound to feel frightened at times. When we first realize we are feeling frightened, we may think we are cowards. We're afraid to pick up the phone because the person on the other end might not understand. We're afraid to ask someone to sponsor us because they might say no. We're afraid to look for a job. We're afraid to be honest with our friends. But all of these fears are natural, even healthy. What's not healthy is allowing fear to paralyze us. When we permit our fear to stop our growth, we will be defeated. Let me repeat that sentence. When we permit our fear to stop our growth, we will be defeated. True courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the willingness to walk through it. Just for today, I will be courageous today. When I'm afraid, I'll do what I need to do to grow in recovery. I like that reading and I enjoy it. And I remember having times in my own life where I thought I was pretty fearless, but in reality, I was very fearful. If I looked at my character defects, fear would have to be at the top of the list. And as a result of that fear, there were a slew of other behaviors. Let me stop the share. A slew of other behaviors that I would indulge in, trying to convince others. I don't think I was necessarily trying to convince myself that I was fearless or that I was courageous. I think that I was using those behaviors to not allow anyone to get too close to me to figure out just how insecure I actually was. But that sort of fear, right? A lot of times we ended up using behaviors, we use drugs, right, to cover that up. And it says here that we got to a point that we really convinced ourselves that we were courageous, but that's not courage. Courage actually is being able to face your fear and continue to recover in the face of that fearfulness, right? To be able to stand up and be counted when normally you will let the stronger voices in the room, and sometimes those are in your head, but you will let the stronger voices take over and sort of take the responsibility for speaking for you. but it's not even really your opinion or how you feel about something, we can speak up today. We earlier in the last week, we read something about how our membership is secure. And as a result of our membership in the fellowship being secure, because the only requirement for membership is a desire to stop using, right? Because it is secure, we are free to be ourselves. Like, I have so many times watched the reaction on people's faces when they started to question whether or not they had a higher power. And mostly, right? Mostly whether or not their higher power was God of the Christian faith. And when I would tell them, the look on their face when I would tell them, to be quite honest with you, no one in the fellowship is worried about who your higher power is. Like, I'm not trying to be flippant or anything, but no one is concerned about who or what your higher power is, or if you even have a higher power. We recommend it. It's a strong recommendation that you have a loving and caring higher power, right? But how you define that really isn't anyone's business, as long as the fruit, the positive fruit of having that higher power to trust in your life is working for you and you're not causing harm, right? no one really cares. Like, you're free to make that choice. And if you make a different choice tomorrow, it's still up to you, right? And so I think that coming into this fellowship and having the freedom to be myself and to sort out some of the confusion and the contradictions with the help of a sponsor, these steps, the spiritual principles of these steps, I believe that I'm a better person. And I believe that as far as my higher power is concerned, my God is concerned, I'm a better reflection of those spiritual principles. I am better able to reflect love as a result of this program. And this program has been that one little ingredient I needed to add to my mix to allow me to blossom and come back to a centeredness that was God-centered and not so much self-centered, right? I wouldn't dare say that I'm not self-centered sometimes, but I really try to be more God-centered, more recovery-centered, more peace-centered, right? And I am enjoying the fruit of some very hard labor in this program. And I just want to let you know that if you are new and you're still fearful about some of the things you're learning, or you're still unsure about some things, that's wonderful. What the reading is saying today is that those fears are quite healthy and normal, but what's not healthy is to allow those fears to paralyze you. I can only think of a couple of things that I have a paralyzing fear of. And I am just wondering, like, I've asked God for a long time to remove that shortcoming that is the fruit of the character defect from me, but I still have it. So, and this is 28 years, I probably started asking for a removal of this particular manifestation of my fears a long time ago. But I think at some point I have to come to accept that if it's not gone by now, it probably is not going to I'm never going to be totally free of that, right? I'm going to operate with that level of awareness, and I need to accept that. I think sometimes when we don't have self-acceptance, that's when we struggle, right? So there's just a couple of things I can think of that I don't want to discuss here that I have fear of, that is paralyzing. But other than that, I cannot think of anything else that would paralyze me. And these two things are things that have been with me since I was very young, right? I don't think I was born with them, but I think the atmosphere that I was raised in caused them. And I'm very conscientious and aware. There's been a couple of times with these paralyzing fears that if moving past it meant that someone else benefited, I was able to do it. And so I have to kind of retract on that, because I do see where my higher power removed them so that I could be useful to someone else that desperately needed someone to act on their behalf, right? And so I just want to encourage you and say that there are healthy fears and there's unhealthy fears. And those unhealthy fears are the ones that paralyze you and stop you from moving forward in your tracks. My name is MightyStream. I am so excited to be with you today. Today is Thursday. I can't believe it. It's March 17th of 2022. It's amazing to me how resilient we human beings are, how fragile we are, but how resilient we are. And those of us in recovery, we have an extra tool that a lot of people don't have. We have a place to come, talk about what's going on with us in a judgment-free zone. A lot of people don't have that. So I just want to encourage you to make the best of Thursday, March 17th, 2022. You are amazing. You are amazing. And if no one else has told you today that they love you, I love you, and I'm quite sure your higher power loves you too. Take care. Bye, guys.